Assalamu alaikum. This is Atiq here. In this lesson I am going to teach you how to sum with criteria in Excel. Criteria mean a condition or a logic. If there is a range of some values and we have to find some of those values whose are greater than 1000. So how it possible in Excel? There is a built-in function in Excel that is called SUMIF. By using SUMIF, you can find out sum with a logic or criteria. Before I teach you SUMIF, I would like to teach you some mathematical symbols. Here are they. First one is called greater than. Second one is called greater than and equal. Third one is called less than. Fourth one is called less than and equal. Fifth one is called equal. And in the last sixth one is called less than and greater than. These all are most important symbols. And you have to keep in mind that these symbols also used in Excel. And with the help of these symbols and functions you can find out some of those values that you want to find out. If you add greater than symbol before any value, for example, the value is 1000. And you add greater than symbol before 1000. That becomes greater than 1000. And Excel will show the results greater than 1000. So, if you want to find out sum of greater than 1000, then you have to use greater than symbol. And if you want to find out less than 1000, then you have to use less than symbol. I think now it's all clear. Now let's talk about SUMIF. SUMIF function is based on 3 steps. First is range. Second is criteria. And third is sum range. On the first step, you have to set a range to find out sum. On the second step you have to set a criteria. Means which values do you want to sum. And on the third step, you have to set a range wherefrom you want to find out sum. Let's use SUMIF in Excel. That will make more clear to understand. There are 2 different methods to use SUMIF. First is press is equal sign. Type SUMIF. Select the range. Set some criteria in inverted commas. For example, greater than 1000. And in the last set the range of those values wherefrom you want to find out sum. And finally press enter key. Now see Excel displayed the sum of those values whose were greater than 1000. This is the main purpose of using SUMIF. If you don't want to find out whole values sum, means you want to find out greater than values sum, less than values sum, is equal values sum, then SUMIF is the best choice for you. Now I would like to discuss second method. Second method is as same of first method, but there is a different. That is setting of criteria. If you set criteria on a cell, then it will make easier to change it. So, first set a criteria on a cell, for example greater than 1000. Press is equal sign. Type SUMIF. Set the range. Click on criteria cell. And finally set the range wherefrom you want to find out sum. And press enter key. As you do the results will be shown. I think you have understand that how to find out sum with criteria. Let's solve some other examples. Now we have to find some of those values whose are greater than and equal to 1000. So first set the criteria. Greater and equal to 1000. Press is equal sign. Type SUMIF. Set the range. Click on criteria cell. Now set the sum range. And finally press enter key. So, look at there. Excel displayed results of those values whose are greater than and equal to 1000. Now let's solve the third example. And in the third example, we have to find some of those values whose are less than 1000. So, method is same. Set the criteria. Less than 1000. Press is equal sign. Type SUMIF. Set the range. Click on Criteria cell. Set the sum range. And finally press Enter key. In the third example, Excel displayed the results of those values whose are less than 1000. Now come to the fourth example. In the fourth example, we have to find some of those values whose are less than and equal to 1000. So, set the criteria. Less than and equal 1000. Press is equal sign. Type SUMIF. Set the range. Click on Criteria cell. Set the sum range. And finally press Enter key. In the fourth example, Excel displayed the results of those values whose are less than and equal to 1000. In the fifth example, I would like to tell you how to sum of those values whose are equal to 1000. So, set the criteria. Equal 1000. Press is equal sign. Type SUMIF. Set the range. Click on Criteria cell. Set the sum range. And finally press Enter key. In the fifth example, Excel displayed the results of those values whose are equal 1000. And in the last example, I would like to tell you how to sum of those values whose are greater than and less than 1000. So, set the criteria. Less than and greater than 1000. Press is equal sign. Type SUMIF. Set the range. Click on Criteria cell. Set the sum range. And finally press Enter key. In the last example, Excel displayed the results of those values whose are less than and greater than 1000. I hope you have understand these all. Now let me say bye bye. Till for the next class.